folks, this is Aslyn Bloor from linsfood.com. Today we're going to be making okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki. Beautiful, delicious Japanese street food pancake. It's a fantastic dish to play around with, in my opinion, because it's open to so many interpretations in terms of the filling you use. You've got the authentic style, Osaka style okonomiyaki, that's got, you know, the basic traditional ingredients, and then you've got the Hiroshima style, which has got noodles in it, which is really delicious. Let's look at the ingredients closely again, as we usually do. Okay, here we go. We've got the plain flour with a pinch of baking powder. You can omit the baking powder if you want. We've got the egg. For this particular amount of recipe, 1 egg. The dashi, homemade, or if failing that, a good stock, homemade stock or organic stock, and some shredded cabbage. That forms the basis of your pancake. We will then add some spring onions, some crispy fried shallots, a little bit of salt, some freshly grated ginger, and the anchovies. And we're going to top it with the nori, some crumbled up nori, some katsuobushi, Japanese tuna flakes, and some homemade okonomiyaki sauce, as well as mayonnaise. Okay, let's get cooking. Okay, here we go. We've got the flour, as you saw, and we're going to pour some dashi in there. We want a very thick batter, not too liquidy, because the egg's going to go in as well. Okay, so pretty thick. Once you add the egg in, it's going to be a little runnier. So we're just going to mix it all in. There we are. A gloop, maybe like the porridge your mom used to make. We're going to add the egg in there, lightly beaten egg. Now, the traditional style of okonomiyaki also uses a little bit of grated Japanese mountain yam that adds some elasticity, some starch, stickiness to it, but I'm not a fan, so I omit it completely. That fridge of mine always goes when I'm doing a video. Some Japanese friends of mine actually add some grated potatoes in there. Okay, there we go. So with the egg, it's runny, as you can see. We're going to add perhaps, I'll get the thinner ones, the thinner slices, it will be much better. Perhaps say, you know, a handful or maybe even 2. As you make this more often, you'll get the hang of it, and you know, really a lot of it is a matter of taste. Cooking is a matter of taste, isn't it, as is eating. There we go. Alright, so mix all that in. In go the spring onions. And for a bit of bite, the crispy fried shallots. Traditionally, you have bits of crumbly fried batter. So I add some crispy shallots in there, just a touch of salt, because you're going to be topping it with those sauces I showed you earlier. And the freshly grated ginger. Again, traditionally you'd be using pickled ginger, not sushi ginger, but pickled ginger. I prefer the taste of freshly grated ginger. Okay, there we go, this is it. The anchovies will go on later. Of course, actually, sometimes I mince the anchovies and add it to the batter and fry it like that. But it actually, you know, I'm not sure if it's visually appealing, but it's visual when you just lay the anchovies at the top. Okay, so we've got the batter. There we are. We're going to get cooking now. Yeah, okay. We've got the frying pan pretty hot. Now we're going to just dab a bit of kitchen towel into the oil and just smear the oil all over. We don't want too much oil. Pretty hot pan, high heat, and then we are just going to pour that very cabbagey batter in there. Okay. Now the very hot batter, you can see it's already moving. So the very hot batter, the very hot frying pan ensures that the bottom crisps up immediately. And and forms a pretty sturdy layer for the whole pancake. Okay, and you can see I've got lots of cabbage in this one. It really is up to you how much cabbage you want to use. And you know, you could add prawns, you could add octopus, which is pretty, you know, a pretty common ingredient in Japanese cooking. These are the anchovies, dabbed anchovies in oil, because I like them that way. We're just going to let it cook now. You don't really have to cover it, but if you want to make it cook faster, you can. I'm just going to lower the heat down ever so slightly because I don't want it to burn. Alright, I'm just going to let it cook for about, say, 2 minutes, and we're going to turn it. Okay, here we go. I think it's about done. Now, the traditional way of doing this is to flip it over with 2 spatulas, one at the top and one at the bottom to hold it down. Now, if you do it tortilla style, if you've got any topping like the anchovies, they're going to have a tendency to slide. But you know, whatever rocks your boat. If you prefer doing it tortilla style as opposed to 2 spatulas, that's completely up to you as well. Now we try and tuck everything in there. Squash it down ever so slightly to encourage the liquid part to cook. Alright, I'm just going to let it cook. And then once it's cooked, say another couple of minutes, we're going to flip it over one more time, just for 30 more seconds. One last flip over. You can just see the anchovies there. You could have topped it up the traditional way with pork belly fat if you eat pork. I don't, with prawns, whatever you fancy. Okay, now's the fun part, because we top it with the various toppings that we want going on top. Lots of people do it in the pan straight away, but I like to dish it up onto a plate. Okay, here we are. As we said, we're going to top it up now. So this is homemade okonomiyaki sauce. Recipes on linsfood.com. In fact, on the okonomiyaki page itself. I only make you know, a small amount each time I want it, so hence the so there we go. I really need to get one of those squeezy bottles, don't I? And here we go, homemade mayo. Again, same thing. We don't really eat mayo at home, so I only make small amounts when I want to. You know, if you want more sauce, add more sauce on. Here we go. Now we've got the crushed nori. I absolutely love nori. Nori is the seaweed you use, the roasted seaweed you use to wrap sushi up with, okay? And lastly, some katsuobushi flakes. You have to try to get katsuobushi flakes, you know, unless you're a vegetarian and stuff, because it really is an essential part of Japanese cuisine. All done, all topped up. Okay, here we go. Homemade okonomiyaki. Perfect for lunch. Perfect as a tapas too, you know, as a tapa too. If you have tapas party, this is superb in there. Now you want to cook it just like you'd cook an omelette, just on this side of being cooked, i.e. slightly soft. Did I just say i.e.? That is slightly soft. So we're just gonna cut it up and serve it up. So when I make this for friends, I always have some mayo and some sauce, some okonomiyaki sauce, for people to actually help themselves with. They, you know, like me, love lots of sauce. Okay, here we go. Perfect. And yeah. Wonderful. Join me again next time on linsfood.com. All recipes on linsfood.com. Catch you guys later.